local, now. This is Texas Today HD.
The president has a lot on his agenda, where he's headed tomorrow, and a look at his second-term goals.
Plus, heavy rain in San Antonio caused this sinkhole. What officials are saying about it?
And parents in Oklahoma are recalling homework questions that a teacher issued that were very creepy. More on that strange assignment. It was from a substitute. We'll be tackling that story in just a moment. Good morning, everybody. Welcome in on May 1st. I'm Chris Radcliffe.
And I'm Stephanie Domrak. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Hope you had a great Tuesday out there. Some pretty nice weather. We're hearing going into May, it's going to be a little bit different.
Yeah, we're above average now. Tomorrow, well below average. A little roller coaster ride when it comes to weather. Let's take a look outside right now at some current conditions. A few clouds at our Allen Samuels Fiat camera over Waco. Temperatures in Waco now 66, and it's 66 in Temple and 64 in Killeen, with winds up to about 8 miles per hour at this hour. There's some low clouds out there, and we're on the lookout for fog this morning. 67 by 9 a.m. with the fog and mizzle. I keep saying mizzle.
Mistletoe?
Mizzle.
Mild and drizzle makes mizzle. That's okay.
No,
mist
and drizzle makes mizzle. Oh my gosh.
That too. There you go.
79 by noon and 84 degrees by 4 p.m. I think I'm going to go have a little bit of breakfast.
Have some M&Ms you were talking about. Now we don't want M&Ms this
I'll have a little breakfast, and I'll try to give you your forecast again in about 10 minutes.
We'll be ready for you then. Okay.
All
thanks,
right.
Mary. Moving on to our news now. We're talking about politics. President Obama is gearing up for a trip to Mexico, where he'll be talking about immigration reform.
But immigration isn't the only issue on his plate. The president is dealing with budget cuts and gun control. He's also trying to close Guantanamo Bay, but says it's difficult while he's also dealing with all the violence in Syria.
If we end up rushing to judgment without hard, effective evidence, then we can find ourselves in a position where we can't mobilize the international community to support what we do.
The president also defended the FBI when they came under fire for their investigation of the Boston bombing suspects.
Well, a court document made public yesterday reveals ricin was found in a man's former martial arts studio in Mississippi. Police found ricin in James Everett Dushke's former studio, as well as a dust mask taken from the business, which also tested positive for ricin. Dushke is charged with making and producing ricin as part of the investigation into poison-laced letters that were sent to President Obama, as well as U.S. Senator Roger Wicker and a Mississippi judge.
As cleanup continues in West this morning, some families are waiting on insurance claims now. The most devastated, Zone 3, was only opened back up over the weekend. Since then, the streets have been filled with insurance adjusters, contractors, volunteers. But Brian Padgett says his insurer told him he has cleanup before his claim could be filed. Meanwhile, most of his neighbors' homes have been declared losses already, and they are under construction already. Brian hired a lawyer to help get himself some answers.
It's sad that you got to get to that point where you got to get somebody to come get answers for you, instead of just answering them when we ask them.
I am extremely surprised that their insurance company has not been around, because I know everyone else has seen their people.
Brian's insurance company was not immediately available for comment.
After nights of heavy rain in the San Antonio area, a sinkhole opened up on a soccer field. A 5-foot deep sinkhole was discovered in the Calibra Creek Field Soccer Park. Officials say the hole is large enough for a golf cart to fit inside. A creek which runs behind the soccer fields were also overflowed. Large tree limbs and other debris was scattered at the entrance to the park. Officials say they hope to have that park, though, reopened within a day or two.
Okay, parents, how would you handle this situation? A substitute teacher in Oklahoma has been told not to return after giving student geometry homework questions involving Ted Bundy and someone called Creepy John. Brandon Richard reports, and he has more on what's making some parents very concerned.
When Christina Matteliano looked over her son's geometry homework last night, she got quite the surprise when she came across 2 questions on 2 different handwritten assignments.
It's references to serial killer Ted Bundy and some guy named Creepy John that watches his neighbors with a telescope.
The homework was handed out by a substitute teacher at Nathan Hale High School. The question that references Ted Bundy asked students to determine how far up a tree Bundy's ladder reaches. The question about a guy named Creepy John wants students to figure out how far Creepy John's apartment is from the neighbors he's spying on.
And first thing that popped in your mind?
The first thing that popped into my mind was just, it's creepy.
Creepy and uncalled for, says Christina.
I don't know if he's trying to be humorous or if maybe that's some of his personal interests. He could have basically did the problem without the references.
The principal, Nathan Hale, confirms a substitute made the assignment. The principal says the substitute wanted to engage students by getting their attention with colorful questions. Nevertheless, the principal says the substitute will no longer sub at Nathan Hale. As for Christina, she says her son didn't even know who Ted Bundy was until she told him.
I mean, he's a teenager. He wasn't really too worried about it.
Christina says that's her job as a mother, looking out for her son.
Yeah, I didn't ever had an assignment like that. I can say that much.
I was going to say, most substitute teachers, they just, going into it, the students know going into it, it's going to be a kind of a different kind of day. It's going to be a little lax. You didn't really expect that.
I always feel bad for the substitute teachers, though. That's kind of true. The kids are like, more
party.
Fun.
It's a
yeah,
sub.
So this guy was trying to get more attention. I can understand that, at least. All right. Well, still ahead here on Texas Today, one day after Tim Tebow was dropped from the New York Jets, he's getting another job offer, but it wasn't from the NFL. We'll explain this one around the corner.
Plus, Mary's going to explain why our temperatures fall off the cliff tomorrow. Yeah, we got big changes coming in the weather department. We're going to put her explanation to the test coming up next. On this date, May 1st, in 1957, the Kingston Trio was formed. They got a great sound, a lot of good hits. We're back with Mary's forecast.
Things got a little squirrely Tuesday in Lawrence, Kansas, as the Jayhawks baseball team took on Wichita State. A squirrel got loose in the infield during the top of the fourth inning, causing a brief delay.
Look at him go.
As you can see, the runaway rodent wasn't going to be captured easily. Look at him go. Look at him go. In fact, the squirrel even tagged the second base as he eluded his first two would-be captors. Eventually, Wichita State's Tyler Baker used his batting helmet to bring the running squirrel into custody and then escorting it off the field very politely.
Yeah, that squirrel's got better moves than drunk fans who jump on the field and run around. That's really funny because there was a famous clip. I used to go to Dodger games all the time growing up, and they'd show bloopers like between the fifth inning, between the home half and the visiting half of the fifth inning. And there's a famous blooper of a line judge or someone who was an employee of the grounds crew who runs out on some Major League Baseball game, and when he picks up the squirrel, it bites him in the finger. And so he switches to the other hand, and the guy starts going like this and jumping up and down. It's the funniest clip, but that was years and years ago, so I'm glad nobody got bit by this squirrel, but they ushered him off.
He just wanted to play.
That's all. He got down the field.
He was trying out. He thought it was tryouts day.
He followed his nose. He thought, hey, a wide open space there. I'm just going to see if I can find a peanut or something down there, and whoa.
People probably didn't mind. It was probably an even better game after that experience, so it's pretty funny.
I'm sure the crowd was cheering.
Yeah,
He'd
exactly.
Be like,
go, home run. Okay. Didn't quite make it home run. That's okay. Second base. Well, still to come here on Texas Today, we'll have your health news. We have big news this morning about the morning after pill. What new changes are in order?
And what are you going to be eating on Cinco de Mayo? What most Americans prefer. That's next in our Consumer Alert. That's right. Today's May 1st. It's May Day. Cinco de Mayo is the 5th of May. I figured that out all by myself, Stephanie. We're back right after this. Tomorrow's going to be...
It's 5:16 on your Wednesday morning. Now time for your health news. Starting at 15 years old and older, teen girls and women can now get the morning after pill without a prescription. The FDA made that ruling late Tuesday afternoon. Plan B will be available in retail outlets with an on-site pharmacy and clearly labeled with the new age restriction. And customers will be required to verify their age before purchasing the emergency contraceptive. The drug maker will also include a security tag to the packaging to prevent theft. And here's a remarkable story now of a little girl from South Korea who receives a life-saving operation. 2-year-old Hannah Warren was born without a windpipe and has been breathing by a tube inserted into her mouth and lungs her whole life. Well, she had never eaten food or drank liquids or even swallowed on her own until now. Hannah underwent a pioneering first-of-its-kind operation earlier this month. A team of international doctors gave her a new artificial windpipe made with her own stem cells in a groundbreaking transplant.
It's been a long journey for her. We're just so blessed that she was able to get this unbelievable opportunity. She really had one chance, and now she has it. She got it. She's here with us, and couldn't ask for anything else.
Pretty incredible what doctors can do now. Hannah suffered from a rare abnormality at birth in which her windpipe failed to develop properly. Well, to all those mothers out there with newborn babies, doctors are now recommending a vitamin D supplement. That's according to a new study published yesterday in the Journal of the American Medical Association. The current recommendation for babies being fully or partially breastfed is 400 IUs, or international units, of vitamin D daily. Vitamin D is important because it's essential for growing healthy bones. It helps the body absorb calcium, and without enough calcium, bone production may in turn suffer. Well, April 15th, the day of those Boston bombings, was the saddest day in 5 years. That's according to a new website that monitors mood via Twitter. The website was created by mathematicians at the University of Vermont. They calculate happiness levels by analyzing the words used in 50 million tweets from around the world. They paid volunteers to rate words for their emotional temperature. For example, the word jail received the lowest score on the scale, while cherry was among the highest. They use these results when analyzing tweets, and the researchers have been using the website now for nearly 5 years. The day of the marathon bombings was the saddest day measured. And now we toss it to Chris at the desk.
Okay, thank you, Steph. And are you planning to fly this Memorial Day weekend? Well, airfare prices are so slightly lower than last year's holiday. Down 2% according to Travelocity, and you know that gnome never lies. Domestic ticket prices now average $341. That's $6 less than last year. It may not seem like much, but the trend toward holiday travel over the past few years has been to hike prices. And Cinco de Mayo's coming up, so how do you like your Mexican food? Well, a new Zagat survey of nearly 2,000 people finds that 41% of us like it hot, caliente, and we like it a lot. More than half of those surveyed eat Mexican food at least once or twice a week. The favorite? Tacos, just edging out enchiladas. Margaritas, by the way, make the list of the top favorite drinks.
I like it hot myself, I will say. If I could eat one type of food all the time, it would be Mexican.
I'm right there with you. Maybe that or Italian.
So we will have a good day on Cinco de Mayo, won't we? We'll be eating.
I will celebrate.
All right, 5:21 on your Wednesday morning. Still to come, we're looking outside at your forecast. Here is telling us how our Wednesday will be looking as we're sky live over our Dodge Country camera. And welcome back into Texas today. In 2010, solar energy trade group the Solar Foundation reported 93,000 U.S. workers spent more than half of their work hours servicing the solar industry.
Here in Texas, the solar field has struggled to gain a foothold in an energy market dominated by oil and gas, of course. Texas Today's Chris Davis joins us now. Chris, there's a lot of room for growth in the solar field.
Well, there sure is, Chris and Stephanie. In fact, every hour, enough sunlight reaches the Earth to serve the entire globe's energy needs for an entire year. To make sure Texas has the resources to capture and use all that energy, Central Texas College is starting a new solar training program. Joining me right now is Teresa Chavez, Director of Continuing Education here at CTC. And Teresa, what can students expect from the program?
What they're going to get is overall training in the first class. We're going to offer 3 different levels of training. One's the intro, then we're going to have 2 more advanced training classes, and all these trainings will will help them take the certification exam.
How does this expand the college's continuing education program? What does it offer that other programs maybe don't?
Well, I think we don't have a lot of solar in the Killeen area right now, and I think communities like Austin are more advanced than we are about that. So with the discounts that they're going to provide through our energy company, our electric companies, I think that it's just a good time to get the training. And people who work in hands-on trades, carpenters, HVAC, all those kind of people, this is just another thing that can make them more marketable.
All right, great. Thank you very much, Teresa Chavez, Director of the Continuing Education Department here at CTC. And they will be having an information session open to the public this Saturday, May 4th, from 10 a.m. to noon. So you'll want to come out and check that out and get some more information about the program here at CTC. Chris and Stephanie, back to you.
All right, a big event this Saturday. Thanks so much, Chris.
All right, we'll be back with more Texas Today coming your way right after this at 6:52.
In case you missed it, here are some of the things we talked about earlier in today's show. Domestic plane tickets for Memorial Day weekend are averaging about $340. That's $6 less than last year. Just a little bit.
Ooh,
We'll take it.
Yeah, it's better, I guess, than being 6% higher. This is what Saturn looks like during a hurricane. It's much bigger and stronger than the hurricanes we see on Earth. These images were taken by NASA's Cassini spacecraft. So I guess, Mary, what would we classify this, like a Hurricane 7 or something?
Yeah, I go Cat 10.
Yeah, Cat 10. Not good.
Let's just give that a 10, why don't we?
Yeah, let's do our universe forecast now. We're joking about that.
Right.
We're making up hurricanes. I make up my own weather words. You know, you never know what you're going to get here in Texas today in the morning. But I tell you what, you are going to get tomorrow, some really cold weather. Let's go ahead and take a look outside now. You couldn't tell from this map. I've got 60s and 70s. 70 in Georgetown, 70 out in College Station, waking up to 63 in Gatesville. Good morning to everyone joining us from there and around Central Texas. Some low clouds moving in, and we're on the lookout for the possibility of some fog. It's been slow to develop this morning. 84 is our high today with a 40% chance for showers and thunderstorms and winds from the south at 5 to 18 miles per hour. 67 by 9 a.m. You may experience a bit of drizzle and some fog at that hour. 79 by noon and 84 degrees by 4 o'clock this evening. Here's what you should know before you head out. With the morning fog, of course, the best chance for rain after 5 o'clock and overnight lows tomorrow night in the 30s. We'll track the cold front for you as well coming up in Maine weather.
Boy, we changed the calendar. What a surprise.
I know.
Right here, boom, it's hidden us. Okay, thanks so much, Mary. And topping our news now this half hour, the first state or federal hearing on the explosion at the West Fertilizer plant will be held this morning in just a few hours.
It'll be hosted by the Texas House of Representatives Committee on Homeland Security and Public Safety. According to the Texas House website, the committee will hear testimony from those who may have oversight in the regulation, operation, security, licensing, inspection, and any other relevant information relating to the fertilizer plant. The following groups on the screen that you see there may testify. The hearing begins at 8 a.m. Check out our website, kcentv.com, for information on live streaming coverage.
And now to continuing coverage on the recovery phase on West. A Fort Worth architecture firm says West High School and intermediate schools need to be torn down and rebuilt following that explosion. Structural damage was too bad to repair it cost effectively. Students are currently being bused to Connolly ISD for school. At the end of August, they'll return to West for school in portable buildings until the schools are rebuilt. Although there's insurance, federal and state aid coming in, the demolition and construction project is going to run more than $80 million.
The force of the explosion created two different things. One was an earthquake. It was an earthquake of about 2.1 magnitude. The other thing were wind forces.
I think during a situation like this that is so traumatic, I know that the educators there at West and Connolly are just focused on providing a stable, calm environment so learning can continue as best possible.
Well, if everything goes as planned, the schools will be rebuilt by August of 2015.
There's an Amber Alert this morning out of North Texas. Police are now searching for a 14-year-old girl who's been missing for nearly a week now. Ruby Contreras is described as being 4 foot 11 inches tall, weighs only 95 pounds. She was wearing a black hoodie and blue jeans when she was last seen in Haltom City last Wednesday. And police believe she is with 26-year-old Stephen Cox. Cox is described as being 5 foot 5 inches tall and approximately 130 pounds. He and Contreras may be traveling west by bus, and there's photographic evidence that the pair did travel to El Paso. Police say Cox is not from Texas and may be from Ohio, and say they have credible information that Contreras is indeed in danger. Anyone with any information is asked to please call police.
Well, some big changes are being made around birth control. Starting at 15 years old and older, teen girls and women can now get the morning after pill without a prescription.
The FDA made that ruling late Tuesday afternoon. Plan B will now be available in retail outlets with an on-site pharmacy and clearly labeled with the new age restriction. And customers will be required to verify their age before purchasing the emergency contraceptive. The drug maker will also include a security tag to the packaging to try to prevent theft.
Well, today is the second anniversary of Osama bin Laden's killing after U.S. Navy SEALs tracked him down in his compound in Pakistan. The U.S. military buried his body at sea within 24 hours to prevent his grave from becoming a shrine to any followers. The news was met with spontaneous celebrations outside the White House and around the country.
BP has agreed to give approximately $340 million to Louisiana's restoration projects. The agreement's part of the $1 billion investment that they agreed to give for the early repair of damaged natural resources caused by the Deepwater Horizon's oil spill. The project will create thousands of acres of restored dunes and marshes along with the Louisiana coast. BP's $340 million agreement will add to the $370 million of funds that have already been approved for early restoration projects.
The Federal Open Market Committee will make a decision on interest rates today. The committee begins a two-day meeting in Washington to decide whether or not to raise interest rates. The Fed has kept its main rate at a record low of between 0 and 0.25% in hopes that the unemployment rate will fall below 6.5% nationwide.
And here's a remarkable story of a little girl from South Korea who received a life-threatening operation. 2-year-old Hannah Warren was born without a windpipe and has been breathing by a tube inserted into her mouth and lungs her entire life. She had never eaten food or drank liquids or even swallowed on her own until now. Hannah underwent a pioneering first-of-its-kind operation earlier this month. A team of international doctors gave her a new artificial windpipe, amazing, made with her own stem cells in a groundbreaking transplant that no doubt saved her life.
And now we have something to tell you about. We're giving away tickets to the Central Texas Air Show this weekend. You've probably heard about it. Well, 2 people will win 4 tickets each, so you can take your whole family.
All you have to do is go to our Facebook page and answer the question that we have up or that we will post at 7 o'clock. You can go your choice any of the 3 days this weekend you're interested in going. Good luck.
Very cool. Good
Zach
luck.
and Jim are over at Waco 100. Good morning, gentlemen, on a Wednesday.
Good morning. Fly me to the moon. Come fly with me. Hey, I just happened to glance out of the corner. Were you showing the story about the little girl that had the windpipe?
Yes.
You heard about
Wasn't
this?
that incredible?
Oh, I watched that last night on the national news, and it's like, holy smokes.
Right.
Jim, this girl was born with no windpipe.
Yeah, I saw it.
And they grew it. How long? It didn't take very long to grow this from her cells.
We didn't know. Yeah, her own stem cells. I don't think we know how long it took, but just incredible what doctors can do now. The stem cell therapy you're able to do with your own stem cells. I mean, it's amazing.
Look at that. She's never been able to eat any food or drink any liquids. The doctor, we heard from the doctor earlier in the show, and he said that she could not have lived much longer without the procedure.
Oh, yeah.
That's amazing.
That is amazing how they can do that. That just, man.
That might have
Cute
been her.
little girl.
I know, she's so cute. That's what's so incredible
that
though.
looks,
These kids
that kind of looks like Jim when I gave him a lollipop the other day.
That's right.
Funny.
Pigtails
Nothing to bring a smile like a lollipop.
I know, it looked like maybe that was her first lollipop she's ever eaten. Pretty excited about it.
Good to see you back, Stephanie. You were under the weather yesterday.
you.
Are you feeling better today?
Yeah. I think I ate something that I shouldn't have eaten, unfortunately. So
we said it was truck stop sushi.
Yeah, we've told you the gas station sushi you need to stay away from.
They've warned you on this. Stephanie.
Yeah, learning that. Thank you.
That and big old double Shiner Bach.
We're all together. Just keep going. Why not?
They don't mix. The two don't mix. We would like to ask you something, Zach, that I saw on Facebook. Now, Jim, just in case he's embarrassed about talking about this, what award have you been designated here, Zach? You have been nationally recognized?
Actually, I don't even think Jim even knows. I didn't tell anybody around here.
Okay.
Whoa!
No.
We're breaking this. This is breaking news.
We're breaking it straight off Facebook.
Yeah, for the second time in the last 4 years, there's a trade magazine that's in the industry called Radio Inc., and it's all about radio and television and the media, just the media in general. And for the second time in 4 years, I've been named one of the top program directors in radio in America.
Okay.
So,
congratulations.
The top guy, the #1 rated program director, of course, is in New York. There is a brand new country station in New York. They don't have too many country stations around that area.
New York City.
And it's called Nash, for short for Nashville, but it's Nash 10 whatever. And this guy was named #1. But just to be part of that, and I told people on Facebook, it kind of comes easy because you got a great staff here at the radio station and people like Jim and the crew that help out, and it's just fun, great community here.
He gets a handshake.
Sounds like a little something extra coming in your paycheck next week,
Oh,
Jim.
yeah, we get a handshake and a lollipop.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe a Shiner Bach, too. How about that? Add that to it.
And some truck stop sushi.
Gotta stay away from that, actually. I would recommend. Okay, guys, nice to see you on this Wednesday. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
Hey, tonight, Hog Creek Ice House, big benefit. Lots of bands out there for West.
Oh,
Come
great.
join us.
Right off Highway
5 o'clock.
6.
Great.
Okay, we'll see you there.
We'll see you tomorrow.
And congratulations to them.
Yeah, that's amazing. Great for him. 6:39 on your Wednesday morning. We'll have more Texas Today to come right after this quick. 6:17 on your Wednesday morning. Welcome back, everybody. In Texas Today, we have Don Bland now from the Humane Society of Central Texas. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Good morning.
One of our favorite segments, of course, we have our perfect pet, and we have a sweet one today. Tell us about her.
We do. We have a little teacup Chihuahua. She's a year old. You know, everybody thinks of Chihuahuas as being nervous and yappy.
Hyper a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Very quiet. Never heard her bark, and she's very calm, as you can tell.
That's what I noticed when she came in, and she's only about a year, right?
Right. She's full grown.
Yeah, she's full grown. She's kind of got her personality already, just very calm, not really nervous at all. She just came. She's now laying, relaxing. Does she have a name?
No name yet.
Okay.
But she doesn't care for baths very much.
Okay.
But gets along well with other dogs and hadn't had an issue with anything.
How about cats?
Well, we saw cats this morning, and she's just like, oh, what are those?
Whatever you are, you're fine. Just leave me alone. I'll leave you alone.
Exactly.
We'll just get along that way. Okay.
Exactly.
How about children? What do you think?
I think she's going to be good with anybody.
Okay.
So far, there were some young people there yesterday looking at her, and she seemed to fit right in.
Kind of a lap dog, would you say?
Yeah, and she's not one you're going to want to go for long walks with.
Okay.
She's got little short strides, and she prances.
Aw, she's a little princess,
Yes,
right?
she is.
She's got a little strut in her step. That's very good. Look how cute she is. She's almost like posing, I would say, for the camera right now. She's so cute.
She's got the little outfit on. She's got a pose.
I know. Where'd you get this outfit from?
Oh, we have a lot of them around the shelter.
Oh, you do? Okay. And it
Yeah.
fit her perfectly, so
Yeah.
it's good. It says Team Canine, if anyone can't see it. That's what it says on the back with her little tutu. Very cute. Does this come with her? If they want to?
Absolutely.
Okay. Very nice. Well, if you're interested in this little sweetheart, you can contact the Humane Society of Central Texas. The number's there on your screen, 254-754-1454. They're open every day of the work week from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Saturday as well from 10 to 5 p.m. So really great little sweetheart. Look at her. Look at her face and these ears. Just adorable. Very sweet. Okay, so if you're interested, contact them. I'm sure she will be going fast.
I hope so.
Okay, thanks so much, Dawn.
Thank you.
Now, tossing it to Chris at the desk.
Okay, thank you, Don and Stephanie, and good luck to that little dog getting adopted. Not going to cost you too much money in the food department. She's a tiny little thing. Mary's going to check your weather forecast when we return.
It's now 6:57. Here are the 6 things you need to know before you go.
Number one is where we start. James Everett Dishke is now charged with making ricin to put into poison-laced letters sent to the president, a U.S. senator, and a judge.
Number two, women and girls older than 15 years old can now get the morning after pill without a prescription. The FDA made this ruling yesterday afternoon.
Number three, BP has agreed to give approximately $340 million to Louisiana's restoration projects. This is all part of an agreement to pay for the damage caused by the Deepwater Horizon's oil spill.
Number four, today is the 2nd anniversary of the killing of Osama bin Laden after U.S. Navy SEALs tracked him down to his compound in Pakistan.
Number five, the George W. Bush Presidential Center opens to the public in Dallas. Today, it's May 1st. The Library and Museum includes exhibits on the key moments of George W. Bush's 8 years in the White House.
And the 6th thing you need to know before you go, the first state or federal hearing on the West explosion will be held this morning at 8 o'clock. The committee will hear from organizations that may have had oversight into the plant's regulations. And finally, our final look at weather this morning from Mary.